Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys! It's the go team of the senior.
Ah, yes. Music to my ears. The go team of the Senior Bowl. The Cowboys stampeding to yet another victory over the New York Football Giants.
The go team of the NFL.
Hey, they did what Nate wanted them to do.
What did they do?
Well, we thought
They
it was
almost
real
beat them
funny
100-0.
when Nate predicted the score in your place
Yeah.
to be 100-0.
I love it.
And they were on track.
And when it was 28-0, I could only laugh.
Well, you think about it, they were on track. It was first 6 quarters of this season against the Giants, it was 68-0.
Man.
So if they just keep on keeping on, they were getting close to 100-0. Wow.
That's what I said. Wow.
And they got off to a slow start.
Yeah, that's
That was
right.
a fast start. They used to get in the end zone.
Hey, man.
Came 3 inches short.
This is going to be a revolving topic. Jeez, us in the red zone.
The one-handed catch by CD on the first drive of the game that did not result in points was a precursor of things to come.
Yes, it was.
The Cowboys could beat that Giants team with one hand tied behind their back.
That
Quite literally.
We don't have to see them anymore this year, so let's just be cocky as hell today. Let's just,
We're done with the Giants. We're done with New York.
Shut up, Giants. Yeah, you
We're
just shut
done
up.
with New York.
that and the head referee,
From Lubbock, Texas, Brad Rogers.
giving
My wife said, "How do you know that?" Because he did a preseason game, and it's my job to look up where these referees are
'cause they're
from.
doing the
That's
TV
right.
broadcast.
That's right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, after
She's from Lubbock, so that's why.
Oh, wow.
That's why I said, "Hey, this referee here, he's from
It's your
Lubbock."
homeboy.
Go ahead, Mickey.
after Brad Rogers gave the coin to former President Bush to flip it without asking the Giants what they wanted to call. They flipped it, he picked it up, and he goes, "Oh, you didn't give me your call.
You didn't ask for
You
it.
didn't ask for it." So President Bush got to do it again.
Only Bush.
False start.
Only Bush. Only that would happen to Bush.
Oh, that's funny. And things went downhill from there for the Giants.
Right.
Well, where do you start?
I'm going to put it this way. And I know we've got these lists here of all these firsts and mosts and everything the Cowboys accomplished. But to me, and I had said on Friday that their mission now is to win 4 straight games, to get to 9-3 when the Eagles come into town on December 10th. And this was the first step. And against a team that was playing a third-string quarterback who had not started, a rookie named Tommy DeVito, this is what you should do to a team like that. And they did what they were supposed to do.
Well, it wasn't Tommy DeVito's fault.
No, I'm saying, but he was playing. Well, here's the worst part. So the first half, they didn't want him throwing the ball, right? They were going to run.
Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we, last
Right?
week?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
they
only way they're
tried.
gonna beat us. Yeah.
And you know what? At halftime, they had 11 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And this was a team.
And they went backwards from there on the first
Ooh,
possession of
yeah.
the third
Yeah.
quarter.
And this was a team that in 7 of 9 games rushed for 100 yards. Now, they ended up with 100 yards, but at 28-0, they had 11. And the Cowboys, this was their military appreciation game, and they honored 16 Medal of Honor winners. So there were more Medal of Honor winners out at halftime than the Giants had rushing yards, if you want to look at it that way.
That's
how dominating it was.
Well, the passing yards weren't much better.
No.
No.
Well, and Barkley, the leading rusher at halftime for the Giants was Tommy DeVito.
Wow.
He had 7. Barkley had 1.
And then you could tell he was getting a little frustrated, DeVito, because after one scramble, he just kind of like got up like, you guys are nowhere close to open down the field.
They weren't open, and he was getting sacked.
And yeah, they're way too close to me back here. So
Yeah.
he seemed very frustrated.
Why?
And I think he knew that was the shape of things to come.
I think their biggest play of the game was it a 41-yard run?
He wound up with 41 yards rushing.
Oh, okay. That's where I had the 41. He ran for a 19-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
Barkley ended up with a 21-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was quite dominating. But again, I thought the Cowboys kept it in perspective. It's like, we got to just worry about ourselves and get better and not worry about the opponent's record, who they don't have playing, who they do have playing at quarterback. And I'm paraphrasing. And even McCarthy pointed out, this is why the NFL is so tough, because you have injuries, you got to play through them, and it's hard.
Yeah, he's been on that side
Right.
of the coin. Yeah, and I like the game because as we started to pull away, we started to work on things that we needed to work on. Mm-hmm. We started getting the ball to people who, okay, it's your time now. You ready? Yeah, let's see what you got.
Do you know
we're gonna
Jalen
need
Brooks
you in the
was
future.
on the team?
That's
His first NFL first down, first NFL catch.
Catch and yards.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
it was great.
And watching, Cooks. Everybody talked about getting Cooks involved. I think we talked about that last week, and they did.
Hello, I'm here.
There you go.
173 yards.
Yeah. I mean, in good fashion. It wasn't just, by the way stuff. I mean, he was pretty dynamic in his routes. Even after the catch, he did some things that I could see him taking advantage of in the future as well.
And another thing we talked about last week was Rico Dowdle.
That's right.
And having him be that physical powerhouse, and he was yesterday. He just was running through the Giants defense.
That was
and so
nice to see.
that was fun to see. And honestly,
Yeah.
I was thinking of Nate in Frisco. I was like,
Right.
Nate, he repeats it over and over. And
Rico
he's
Dowdle.
right. Rico Dowdle. He
12
was great.
carries for 79 yards.
And those were hard
and
yards.
a
like you
touchdown,
said.
by the
Yeah.
way. So, and those were all career highs for him, by the way.
I thought he should have been the one to take the fourth down.
I thought
Our
so,
first
too.
fourth down.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think.
I agree.
It seemed like they felt obligated to put Pollard back in there.
That's right. And I think, let's be real. They knew that it wouldn't be if things were in their hands, which it was, that it wouldn't be a game to where that was going to be some game-changing mistake.
Right.
If Pollard doesn't make it. I think he felt very confident that his defense was going to do just what they did. Smother them. Okay, we'll stay down here. We'll be down here for a while because they're going to smother you on your offense.
And I'm not saying they mismarked the fourth down run or the third down run, but I still don't understand why they didn't come up with a better method on the goal line to figure if the ball hit the goal line or not. Because they can't see. They can't see. It's just that simple. Tex Schramm back in 1989 wanted to put a chip in the ball and do some laser thing on the goal line.
That makes a lot of sense.
His
Why
thinking
wouldn't you?
was ahead of our technology.
Yeah, it works for me and my car. I got this key fob here. It works there. It can work on anything. Why not?
But anyway,
Doesn't work on my truck. My check engine light's still on. And they say it's because of the chip. It's not.
The chip.
well, it's coming over from overseas. It's on some cargo boat.
That's right. So it's not foolproof. On the Rico Dowdle and Tony Pollard, what I'm hoping is now going forward, now that we've established that Rico can do this, okay, that maybe Rico can take the Zeke role and Pollard can be in the Pollard role.
I think maybe they're working a little bit closer to that.
Where we can call Tony still the lead back.
Yeah.
But there are things that Tony Pollard does that you want to free him up to be able to do those things.
Right.
They can still start Tony.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
Donald will be the change of pace now. Still start Tony, now Donald comes.
It is interesting. I think it was on the Fox broadcast. They were talking, Rico seems like the one that has some extra juice. It's like they would be saying about Pollard for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
It's something about the back. It's like the backup quarterback. If you're on a bad team, the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy in town.
Right.
And now the backup running back's the most popular guy in town.
And Pollard had some really good runs
Yes, he
yesterday
did.
too.
Yeah.
He had some
Right.
powerful runs
Yes, he did.
against the defense,
Yes,
but
he did.
I
But
think
when
it
you're the
was-
guy that has to be the guy that runs between the tackles, you average 4 yards a carry instead of 5.5 yards a
That's
carry.
right.
now.
Exactly.
Or 4.5 yards a carry instead of 5.5.
Rico ran so angry.
Well, and the one thing I noticed, and it was in that first drive, it was 2nd and 7 at the 25, and they threw that pitch out left to Dottle, and he hesitated and cut back in. And I was thinking, see, Pollard seems to be in a hurry too many times to hit the line, and he hesitated and got his block and moved back in.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many yards he went. But yeah, it was.
Which play you're talking in the first drive of the game? He went 20 yards.
20 yards, right? Yeah, that's right. I put 21 and I scratched it. That'll look like 29. Yeah, 20-yard run, and it was good because he wasn't in a hurry, and I said, okay, let's keep him going.
And let's keep this good thing going. And when you look at the schedule, that there's a real good chance this good thing will keep going.
And that's the next step on my 4-game mission. Carolina, 1-8, and backup quarterback probably, right?
So I know the former Giant over here doesn't want me ragging on the Giants, but do you think they might have the worst team in the league right now?
They were pretty bad.
He's talking to his Giants friends on the phone right now.
Now
It's just
I'm actually
ignoring you.
looking at this schedule and trying to see who is worse than the Giants, if anyone.
Is it
I
the next
think it
opponent?
may be Carolina. Yeah.
But they keep in mind that Carolina Panthers just 2 weeks ago beat the Houston Texans. And all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, the Houston Texans are one of the
Noah Brown.
hottest
It's
teams in
very
the
Noah
league.
random.
Brown, bro.
Uh-huh.
Noah Brown. I mean, this guy's like lighting it up. He's CD now for the past 2 weeks.
Carolina won a 15-13 game over Houston a couple of weeks ago. And both
In
teams,
Carolina?
it was at Carolina, and both teams were coming off a bye. And then Houston last week they rally in the final minutes to win, okay, in the last play of the game, basically, C.J. Stroud. And then what do they do against Cincinnati this week? Same thing. If they don't have those last-minute drives, we're talking about Houston, instead of being, what are they, 5-4 now? Or
Yeah.
6-4. If they don't have those drives, you reverse that record. They're 4-6.
Are they
but
tied for the lead in that division?
they're close to it. I don't have it in front of me right now. But Jacksonville had a
beat.
5-game win streak, and there's another couple of teams that were coming off a bye, and San Francisco had lost 3 in a row. Jacksonville had won 5 in a row going into their bye week, and you just knew San Francisco, even though they were playing at Jacksonville, was going to wipe them off the field, which they did. And a lot of it has to do with how they were playing going into the bye and the extra motivation those players have coming out of it.
Well, the little I saw of Carolina's game, they can't protect Bryce Young,
That's the issue.
right?
Same issue the Giants have.
Yeah, and then they lost Neal early in the game, right? But that doesn't excuse.
Well, they lost Andrew. The
Thomas.
Giants lost Andrew Thomas.
Thomas,
Evan Neal
yeah.
wasn't playing
Yeah,
because
he
he got
was
hurt last
already
week.
out,
Yeah.
right?
And those are their 2 first-round draft pick tackles.
And so
Houston's 5-4.
5-4.
Yes.
Okay. That's a surprising 5-4.
It is.
right.
It is.
But again, you got to play, and
And if they didn't have the rallies here the last couple of weeks, they'd be 3-6, and we wouldn't even be talking about them. But again, looking ahead to Carolina, they have shown signs of being capable in the last couple of weeks because of that.
Well,
the Giants
anytime that a team cannot protect their quarterback, they are in trouble with us.
Yeah.
If whatever problems they're having, if they can't protect the quarterback, that is where we feast.
Our defense is coming for the quarterback. It was
There's gonna be
proven
a moment.
yesterday. Tom
There's gonna be many
DeVito was
moments.
sacked how many times? And it was just, they just let it happen.
Well, it was 5 times.
5 times.
And they came out the second half saying, okay, we're going to have to throw the ball because we got 11 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And what happened?
1 first down.
First play,
Dante Fowler, D-Law,
Dante
back
Fowler
to back.
and Lawrence sacked him back-to-back plays. And the poor guy's facing, what was it, he had 2nd and 17, 3rd and 26.
What was the most amazing thing, though, you saw in the Cowboys box score?
Well,
Offense or defense?
There was a lot.
We had like 20 first downs to their 1.
At one point in the game,
Yeah.
right.
And that was crazy.
They were 0 for 12 on 3rd down. I would say 640 yards total offense.
Which was the second most in Cowboys history.
Right. And the
Going
most.
back to 1966 and Dandy Don Meredith.
And somebody figured out the discrepancy between 640 and 172 was the most in 44 years.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
At
actually
one
in
point,
here.
and then the Giants had that last drive, which cut down on whatever the discrepancy was.
Yeah, because they
whatever
got,
the difference was
75.
on the last drive of the game.
So that's the
75
second
yards.
most amount of yards.
That second biggest differential between
Yardage.
for two teams.
And that's going back to
all
the
time.
1940s.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Since, yeah.
It went back to the 40s, I think.
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
The
Yours.
most amazing thing on the box score was that Michael Parsons' name does not appear.
Is that crazy?
He got zeroed out.
It's wild.
That was crazy.
So your team wins 49-17. That doesn't mean that he didn't impact the game at all, but he just didn't impact the statistics of the game.
He just went by the quarterback and boo.
I feel for Bryce.
That's what it seemed like. He just passed by, boo. Step up into danger. You know?
He let Dorrance Armstrong, Neville Gallimore, and everyone
they're waiting
else.
on
You
you.
guys
They're
go
waiting
get
on you.
him.
I just say boo when I get passed by.
That's one thing Bryce Young does not want to see, that Parsons was shut out of the box score last week.
Interesting.
Well, and the other
He
thing,
ain't going to be shut out this week.
if you noticed that they started Evans at linebacker.
I almost texted
did
you
see
guys.
that. Yes.
And he had a game.
He had 28 snaps.
And
So
Bell
he played
had 22.
49% of the snaps.
And you know why that happened? Because Bell was on the injury list this week.
Yeah, but not only that, they thought we got to be strong against the run. So we're going to, I mean, you know what? We're over.
Marquise Bell looks pretty strong against the run to me.
They were playing a 5-man defensive front. He had 5 defensive linemen up there and 1 linebacker. And majority of that was Parsons. And they weren't getting by the 5 very much.
Evans, what was his numbers?
Evans had 2 tackles, I believe.
But the leading tackler on the team had 4.
And that was Deron Bland.
When
There
you're
was-
as
there were
inept as the
times-
Giants' offense was, they don't run very
It
many
looked like
plays.
everyone was making a tackle. I mean, there were plays I couldn't tell who made the tackle. You could have picked any of 5 people.
Another appearance from nowhere. Mozzie Smith had 3 tackles.
2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Yeah,
He was great.
yeah.
Maybe they got something here. Just take some time sometime for some
I
of
must
these
admit,
guys.
I was kind of dogging him at the time that he made his 2 tackles. I was sitting there talking to my buddy, like, this guy, man, I haven't heard his name. Like, yeah, what about that guy? I don't know. But there he goes. We just heard his name. That was it.
All right, we're just getting started on a Monday edition of Mick Shots, and we will be back in just a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Did you hear me kill it last week?
So I did listen on Friday on my drive, and you did great. Except
you.
I will note, I know that Chris did not cue you like he cues me.
I was so hurt. I thought it was personal. He apologized.
Did Everson say something he shouldn't have said?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, Chris didn't say my name. He didn't say.
He didn't say go,
Everson.
like go Everson.
Yeah, he's like go.
Go.
But you did great, and I feel like you're gonna have to continue to do that the rest of this week.
You can have it.
That's right, because
I'll
the rest
take care
of
it
this
tomorrow.
week,
I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Great.
Savannah's
And
out the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
How was that wonderful drive through Louisiana?
It actually was not too
Good?
bad. I didn't get to stop at the cafe you recommended. I was hauling through, but I made it.
Very good.
Daytime, and then
It's good daytime driving.
right.
Louisiana's not good nighttime driving.
Well, then yesterday morning, since we had the game yesterday, I drove from Lafayette at 4:30 in the morning straight to AT&T Stadium for the game.
Wow.
Pretty good soldier, huh?
It is.
Yes, I was a little
How long's
tired.
that
5
drive?
hours.
5 hours.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
But
Done it a lot.
we made it through.
Me too.
We made it through, and the win made it all worth it. You know,
It sure does. Doesn't it make it bad?
Way to go.
it really does.
It's like you're driving on the
Did you
cloud.
get your prediction right?
What was
actually,
it?
I can't even
Actually,
remember.
we had
Predicted the Cowboys to win.
I had Donovan Wilson for my click to pick, but my score was 35-10.
Oh,
So-
you were closer than anybody. Except for, well,
no.
yeah,
That was my score too.
yeah, mine was, 30-14, I think.
And Bill came in at 19-3.
Because I went back through history.
We know.
We know.
Went back through history, and I was looking for a late December Cowboys win in a season that ended in a 3 over the Giants, because in honor of Tommy
ran
DeVito. Oh, what a night! Late December back in 2003, Cowboys beat the Giants 19-3, and so that's what I went with.
Bill actually had Ferguson had a touchdown.
I took the easy way out there.
Savannah had Donovan Wilson. I had Deron Bland. Oh no,
I had
Everson took Bland, so I took Damone Clark. I
And
stepped
what,
so
did,
who
what
won?
did Bland do?
Wait,
what did
who
Bland do?
I thought
Had a
somebody
pick.
had
Had a pick.
DeMarcus
Right.
Lawrence.
Bland had a pick.
Yeah, you got
It's
that
almost
one.
a Bland having a pick is almost like Jake Ferguson having a touchdown. That's such an easy pick.
All right, so we're going to
It adds
eliminate
to our
Parsons,
support.
Both of them.
Bland, and Ferguson.
And Dak. Right?
Although Nate was close at 100-0.
He was.
He was adamant.
Did he have a pick to click?
I thought it was DeMarcus Lawrence. Am I wrong?
Did
you know
he
what?
even care to tell us?
I just wrote
Well,
down.
that's a good one.
Once he said 100-0, then we just
started
zoned
laughing.
on from there. Yeah.
So they were doing their post-game wrap-up outside the locker room, and I was walking by. I was headed back up to the press box, and I wrote on my thing, 100-0. Tried to distract them, right?
That's fun stuff. Isn't it much more fun when they win 100-0?
And by the way, another guy put his hand up in air and said, "I'm here." Michael Gallup.
Mm-hmm. He needed that, man.
Yes.
And that was a
He
Michael
needed
Gallup
that.
touchdown
That's
catch.
the Michael
wasn't it?
Gallup that we're talking about.
Yeah. And it was only 2 catches, but it was
Yeah.
two
Two
big,
damn good catches.
down the
One of
field
them was in the
catches.
end zone.
So here's the deal. And it sounded like what the Giants were doing is they were going to play man on the Cowboys receivers. And it's like, say what? Mm-hmm. You got somebody that, because they had Adoree Jackson, I don't know how
Out.
much, he was out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you thinking about? And then Banks got hurt, I believe.
First round draft pick.
He didn't come back, I don't
Right.
believe.
And they were traveling him with CD early in the game.
Yeah. And so they didn't, they tried at times doubling CD, but most of the time Cook was in man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
He was in man coverage doing those crossing routes all the way, and he's just burning them left and right.
There were on some of those, it showed the replay, it was on one of the crossing routes, and there were like 3 different receivers that Dak could have thrown it to,
Yeah. That's true.
that were open.
Well, one thing that you saw, and I wish they had found this out earlier, I don't know what they were thinking, but if you want someone like Cook or CD to get off, you need to put them in the slot or move them.
Right.
It's much harder to jam a receiver, even that one half a step off the line of scrimmage. It makes all the difference in the world. If I'm lined up close to the guy, this the line of scrimmage, the DBs, we have our heads like almost off sides. The receiver's trying to be as close as he can to the line of scrimmage. That's an easy jam. I mean, you're right there. If you miss him there, you shouldn't be on the field. But if you step him off a half a step, he has room to really gain the leverage on you. And that seems to be, they're going to target the receivers that are either moving or off the line of scrimmage versus press.
Right.
Because that gives our receivers a chance to get a clean get off, as opposed to being rerouted somewhere you don't want to go.
And then they tried playing zone, and that didn't work.
Well, now you got nobody in front of us now.
Right.
Yeah, wide receivers got free release.
And so they made him pay. But that's good going forward, that team's going to say, oh, this Cooks guy, he might still have something there.
And then
right?
that'll leave Gallup open man to man, and he can run right by him.
And they actually, if I had this right, they started Tolbert in place of Gallup. Mm-hmm. I think did he have a catch or two?
Yeah, two catches in the game.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
For 2 yards. He must have had a one for a loss when they tried that smoke screen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they used him liberally. Got Deuce Vaughn in the game, returning punts. Had an 11-yarder, broke a tackle. Turpin was out. My understanding is he was close to playing, but since he didn't practice all week, they thought it was best to wait till next week. So I think
Was it ribs from last week or a shoulder?
Shoulder.
It looked like a shoulder when he got hurt, and then I thought they said during the week something about ribs.
I thought they did too.
And maybe that's where I got it. I got it from Everson.
But I believe they listened.
Which I think it tells you a lot about him a week ago.
Yes,
because the
played
play that he
through
got
it.
hurt, and then he remained in the
back
game
and
and caught a touchdown pass after it. That just
Right.
shows his
It was a
toughness.
clutch
Yeah.
touchdown too. Yeah.
That's right.
And then Vander Esch is eligible to come off. I think they're still looking at some things there. Plus,
You got 3 games in 12 days again now coming up
there's
here.
no sense, right? Because he's not going to be able to practice much. Because they'll go light this week in
They may have
preparation for
a
next
padded
week.
practice on Thursday,
Maybe.
depending
And
on
they
what
won't
they
have one
decide.
the
Then
next
next week, and yeah.
So
probably in the next 2 weeks.
we'll see what happens there. I also heard that Waletzko's pretty close to starting his 3-week ramp up off of IR. And who was the other one? And Mike mentioned something during the press conference. I can't remember if it was Friday on the conference call or Thursday. Something about steel. They had to look into something. I've found out that he has been nursing something, not enough to keep him off the field, but enough to hamper his ability to push off to the left. So it must be his right knee that he had fixed, maybe. And remember both sacks last week, he got beat inside.
Yes.
But he didn't get beat this game.
I was going to say, he looked good to me.
Yeah.
He looked good to me.
You know, if memory serves me right, no matter what the sport is, over the course of time, if a guy seems to be underperforming than what your expectations are, usually he's nursing something.
Right.
And he doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah, he's not enough to be on an injury report. But there are so many things that these players
tip the opposition
He's
to.
in a
well,
little bit
and
of
it's
pain,
not
but he
enough
doesn't
to
wanna
keep
say
him out of
anything.
practice,
Right.
even. And the only reason you're on an injury report is you're out of practice, whatever. You know,
Right.
It's not enough, but it's bumps, it's bruises, it's whatever. But it does limit your ability to play, and you just play through it, fight through it, and then in a week or two, it's better, and all's good again.
But to his credit, Savannah, we saw it. He faced the music on Thursday.
Right. In the locker room.
Right? Mm-hmm. Stood there and answered questions for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes.
So the guys, their defensive line, I can't recall what was the report on them. Were they pretty good? Did they have a lot of injuries? Were they backups?
Well, they lost Thibodeau in the game. I think it was it
He had a concussion. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He played the whole first half.
Yeah, but he played, and somebody said something about, well, he got hurt. And I said, oh, I didn't even know he was in the game.
No.
Because they announced he wasn't coming back.
Right.
And I said, I didn't know he came in.
Right.
So somebody neutralized him. And Lawrence and Robinson really, I mean.
Dexter Lawrence is their guy up front.
Yeah.
I mean, and he is a beast.
97.
97. Yeah. He is, I mean.
He did cause some problems.
Yes.
He caused a few problems.
Right.
Early on. Then the fire left everyone's belly in blue.
And they were Aziz Ojulari is their other edge rusher. He's been out for a while, and he was actually active for this game.
Right.
He's another one that's been hurt. I mean, when they put their master game plan together for this season, they thought they had two really good edge rushers in Kayvon Thibodeau, who was a top 5 pick last year, and Aziz Ojulari, who's a former Georgia guy who has had decent seasons in the past, but he's been bothered by injuries all year. Plus, they had Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams in the middle, and they traded away Leonard Williams. They traded away to Seattle at the trade deadline, and so now Ojulari hasn't been there. Leonard Williams has been traded away. Thibodeau in the second half, after the game was out of hand, was out, but he had 8.5 sacks this season. They only have 15 sacks as a team.
And he has 8.5.
And he has 8.5 of them. So that tells you where they are defensively. And then when you aren't, as you know, if you're not pressuring the quarterback, you know,
we don't need you.
And your secondary is going to be exposed.
I just wanted to know if we can hang our hat on at least blocking some starters. Playing against them the way we've been playing. I was wondering if they had a lot of backups on the team as far as linebackers are concerned as well. Because they really did finally reach their stride.
Okereke is a really good player, linebacker.
Well, he had 11 tackles.
58, Bobby Okereke.
And as Savannah was saying, we found our stride as far as running the ball this game. And I want to be able to say, hey, this was at least a decent front seven that we were blocking. I want to be able to say that. I don't want to go off saying that and there's they had 3 offensive linemen that missed the game like we had against Arizona. So that I want to hang my hat on that.
Well, you can hang your hat on 640 yards.
There you go.
And last week, the Giants played the Raiders and got beat 30-6, and were just lifeless in that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was another game. The Raiders got up on them, and then
and that's why I think he emphasized that last drive to try to score that touchdown. That was like practice for him.
Oh yeah,
right.
I mean, I didn't blame him at all for.
I know, but I wanted to get.
And I didn't blame McCarthy.
Let's go.
Well, in fact, on the TV broadcast, they were talking. They wanted to make sure they got McCarthy and Dable when they shook hands at the end of the game. Make sure that there's no animosity there. Like there was going to be one of them had a problem with the other.
Did they have a history?
I thought. No, not at all. But they were alluding to it because of how the end of the game, how the Cowboys were throwing the ball late in the game with Cooper Rush in at quarterback, and so then the Giants come down. But just to your point, they've got a rookie undrafted quarterback that needs as many reps as possible. And so you're going to call timeouts. That's a 2-minute drill that he needs work on. This is the first time he's ever practiced this past week.
Right.
Okay. And then from the Cowboys standpoint, that was a great opportunity for Cooper Rush, Michael Gallup, all these guys to get involved. And instead of just handing the ball off to Deuce, which does nobody any good,
Right.
But
get Deuce hurt.
Yeah, right. Where you're handing ball in the past, early in the season, it's just you hand off the ball to Deuce, and everybody knows it's going to Deuce, and he gets tackled for a yard loss.
Right. Well, they got to play a lot of guys on defense.
Yeah,
and then the offensive line, Hoffman, Bass, and Chuma were there in the fourth quarter. And they got to get those guys some work. And he mentioned after the game, one of the benefits of getting a lead like that you don't have is you work these young guys that we're going to have to use. He mentioned that down the line. We got to play these guys.
And, even with the case of Rush, I mean, it's now been 2 months since he played in a game, throwing passes in a game, which was in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And so.
Threw an interception, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. And so you're working through all that stuff.
Working through it.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing he and he couldn't get mad at it. They left CD in to catch the last two passes for 9 yards, and then when he set the record, they took him out.
Yeah.
Right. And they knew about it too. It didn't just kind of happen.
Right.
So, do we need to take a break?
Oh yeah, we're way past. Okay, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Salvation Army's 27th annual Red Kettle Kickoff returns to AT&T Stadium this Thanksgiving. Get excited to watch the one and only Dolly Parton rock the stage during the halftime when your Dallas Cowboys go head-to-head with the Washington Commanders. Tune in at 3:30 on CBS.
I'm going to watch that halftime show.
With Dolly?
Yeah.
Me too, man.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be very highly rated. Washington Commanders will be the opponent. Can you believe it's next week? Thanksgiving's next week.
Thanksgiving.
That's crazy.
Are you on the
That's
field for the concert?
I don't know yet. Most likely.
Yeah.
We'll see what hand I have in it, but I don't know. We'll find out. She's coming to town. Dolly's coming to town.
We want Dolly's autographs, all right? We're going to put that on
Yeah.
you.
Get us some more stuff.
We'll see what we
Get
can
us
do,
some
guys.
more stuff, man. You brought us stuff last
All
Isn't
the
it amazing
gifts.
what the reaction's been like ever since it was announced that Dolly was going to be there at halftime?
When you read it the first time, like, man.
What?
Jeez, that's big time.
Because, every once in a while they get somebody that I don't
heard of?
know anything about. At least I know Dolly. Not that I'm a music connoisseur or anything. Which, by the way,
Savannah, amongst your friends, how excited are they that Dolly is coming?
I mean, she's a classic. You
Okay.
can't go wrong
Okay.
with Dolly.
All right.
At all. I mean, she's Dolly.
Yeah.
So,
And she seems like a cool person.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, she does.
she helps out a lot of people. Does a lot of stuff.
I think they ought to put
Look at here, Nate and Frisco.
Nate and Frisco ought to go on stage with her.
Oh man,
That'd be a
He'll
throwback
be a
to
warm-up.
Thanksgiving
He'll be a warm-up.
days in the past. Yeah.
He'll be a warm up.
Nate and Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
He'll introduce her. No, stop. Hey, but here's one thing I want to say. A lot of people don't like what McCarthy's doing. I think McCarthy is playing it pretty sly. I think he's leaving a lot of cards.
Like
in his
he's got
pocket.
some cards in his deck.
I think he's got a lot of them. I think he's got some that he just really doesn't want to show right now, and he's okay with worst case scenario 5 or 6 and 3, but I still haven't gone into my bag yet.
Mm-hmm.
I truly think he's got some things. He came out with a couple yesterday.
Yeah.
The jet sweep to the CD was very well designed because it came off of
The play fake. It was the play fake up the middle, was it? I wrote it down because you're right.
Sorry.
Yeah, he faked the ball. He faked the ball to Pollard up the middle.
Right.
And Schoonmaker was coming in motion from right to left, and then he stopped and went back out, and he had the kick out
clipped
block.
that block. That's right.
Right?
He clipped him back. Yeah.
So here, look, this is when you know things are going your way and you're having a good day. Late in the game there, when Dak completed that long pass to CD, off of his back foot, jumping in the air, he's trying to throw it away. And I knew he was. He admitted. He goes, I tried to throw it away, and I didn't throw it far enough.
Oh, when he escaped that little,
Yeah.
he almost looked like he was
by the
getting
leg.
tripped
Yeah.
and then
Right.
like caught himself.
Yeah, they-
Tossed
You know
it.
who I thought of on that pass? I thought it was a tribute to Dirk Nowitzki. I thought it was a one
Step back.
No, it was a one-legged
Three-pointer.
fadeaway.
It was a
It
three-point
was a
attempt.
Dirk
Yeah.
stereotypical, the iconic Dirk one-legged fadeaway.
Well, he admitted in the press conference, and he said, and that tells you how good CD is, because he came back and caught the ball.
I was thinking if he did that on purpose, why?
Yeah.
You know?
No, he didn't get enough on it.
I was thinking, why would you try that? That's dangerous. I didn't know that he was
Yeah.
trying to throw it out of bounds.
He admitted, because somebody told him in the press conference that the TV camera caught him wagging
Laughing.
his tongue, and he was laughing.
Yeah.
He got away with one there.
Yeah, he sure did. He fooled me.
But when it's going your way, sometimes it goes your way. And we haven't seen, well, you know what? I want to say we haven't seen too many of these, but you know what? Look at their margin of victories and the majority of their games they've won. Even
especially at home.
Jerry said he was still there talking after McCarthy finished, and he said the margin of victories has, we have to consider that. He goes, they were surreal And he's right when you beat a team that bad in this league.
I mean, think of the Vikings last year.
Right?
Yeah, those are the kind of games I think of.
But those are what NFL games are supposed to be like. Come down to the wire, you one-score games.
Yeah. But
not 49-17,
Right.
40-0.
Well, only
38-3, 30-10. I mean, 43-20.
All they had is 2017 over the Chargers on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to hear about Savannah's week. I want to give you the final minute here, and the floor is yours because we aren't going to hear from you the rest of the week.
That's true.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll try to tune in when I can, but I will be sitting on a beach in the Dominican Republic. So.
No! Drop the mic.
Yes. Screw you, Bill. I ain't listening to nothing.
But you know what? I will say I think it'll be fun for you guys to prep for the Panthers this week. We'll
Do you
see
want to
how...
go ahead and make a pick for the Carolina game today?
No, what you have done is
Sure.
opened up a Pandora's box. We're going to talk about her every day this week about what the heck she's doing in the Dominican Republic right now.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun talking about that.
For
See,
context,
we're gonna
I'm
be
going
jealous.
for a wedding. I'm a bridesmaid.
We're going
for
to be
my
jealous.
friends, so.
We're going to be jealous. Yeah.
Okay, but yes.
A wedding during football season.
We've already discussed
Me
that.
and
Someone
Mickey talked about
scheduled a
this.
wedding during football.
Who does that?
Well, and
It's
she's
great.
had back-to-back.
Yeah, I did one wedding this weekend, one this
You
week.
need better friends.
I agree. If anyone's listening, please don't invite me to any more weddings. I'm
during
over
the
it.
season, man.
Not during football season. My daughter, actually, she got married Thanksgiving weekend. And so I'm sitting there walking her down the aisle, and there's a TV over here.
Well, how did
What's
you
the score?
What time of year did you figure out to get married?
We paused. We paused halfway down the aisle so I could see the score of the OU game.
There's the monetaries.
But if I'm
I
going,
was crying walking down the aisle, not because she was getting married, but my team was losing.
Right.
oh yeah,
OU was staking up the place.
Hopefully my microphone didn't get in the way of my insignia.
You was pretty cocky this weekend, huh? I was impressed.
Send them volunteers
I
back
was
to
impressed
Tennessee.
because they really thought they were doing something. They thought they were going to make some noise coming into your place.
That's what they get for piling on last year.
And in closing, let's just hope you have as good a Monday today as Jimbo Fisher did yesterday, getting $76 million not to work. We all need a job like that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just fail like he did, and you can do it too.
I think Kevin Sherrington wrote in the Morning News, and this is just one more Aggie joke.
Wow. It is.
And they did it after a 51-10 win. Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
why, you know what?
Crazy.
When you make a decision to fire a coach, don't let it linger for 2 weeks because he might win the next two games.
They should have fired
And
him.
then they say, "Oh, what are you doing?"
So they should have just announced it on
Last
Thursday
week.
when the Board of
That's right.
Regents voted to take care of it before the 51-10.
Yeah.
Then his interim would be a really prime candidate to replace him because he'd be the head coach for that 51-10.
That's right.
See how good I am?
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. That does it for us. And some of us will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, Savannah, happy travels to the Dominican.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!